Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry. Today's going to be another walk and talk day. So, topic for today, as I walk and talk, but this should be like a new series. We're going to talk about Blazing Dominion. So, Blazing Dominion is the brand new core set, which is due out for sneak events on the 2nd and 3rd of May, and then officially comes out, I think it's weird, like 3 to 4 days later. I think everywhere is different, but you can pick up not only can you pick up boxes and packs from Premier events, but you can also get them from your OTS stores on the 4th, 5th, 6th of May, but the set itself doesn't become legal to play until the 7th of May. Anyway, this core set is looking like really good. I don't know what it is, but it looks like in modern times, and this could have been true back in the day as well, but the second set of every year is usually pretty decent. Whereas this one is kind of reminding me of Rise of the Duelist. So Rise of the Duelist was the set that we got Nadir Servant in. It was the set that we got Forbidden Droplet in. And then it also reminds me of Darkwind Blast, which is when we got Tillaments and Kashteras. So in this set, and this will probably start to explain why, you've had a lot of people around your local environment asking for like Doomsday. So Doomsday gets some brand new cards. Doomsday are like insanely good in Genesis right now, and these brand new cards as well will kind of take them up a notch. On top of that, we get a brand new Solemn Trap card, and this is me trying to remember the effects off the top of my head, so apologies if I don't get them exactly right, but it's something like when your opponent activates a spell, I think it's Spell Trap or Monster Effect. I think it might just be Spell or Trap. You pay 1,500 life points to negate the activation, or you can pay 3,000 life points and you can banish all copies of that card. But no matter which one you use or which one you pay, they can't activate another card with that card's name that turn, I think it is. So it's kind of like I think the example I had kind of quoted to me was, it means they got two evenly matched. You basically just stop the first evenly match, whereas now, like, if you did have 2 judgment, which isn't legal, but if you had 2 judgment, you would judgment the first and then they go, okay, still end the battle phase evenly, and you'd be like, cool, just gave you half my life points for pretty much nothing. So yeah, that's going to be one of the chase cards in it. There's a brand new Dominus card, Dominus Sparks, which is, I think it's something like, if your opponent's activated a monster effect in the hand or grave this turn, so kind of like the K9 trigger theme. I can't remember exactly what it does. I can't remember if it's like destroys the monsters, return the monsters or something, but basically it doesn't lock you out. It locks you out of all other attributes apart from light or dark. So it's kind of like the reverse of Spiral. And when you look at Yu-Gi-Oh, more times than not, like, it might just be dark decks actually. Either way, but basically, when you look at modern Yu-Gi-Oh, dark decks are quite prominent. So if you're playing a dark deck, you're going to want it. The third kind of like expected chase card. Now we already know that Dominus Sparks is a secret rare. We don't know what rarity the Solemn card is yet. Assumptions can be given. The third card is the Dragon Hand Trap. Now I don't know what its official name is off the top of my head, but I believe it's like a level 7 Dragon Tuner, and you can reveal it in the hand, I think it's you send a Synchro monster from the extra deck to the graveyard and you can summon it. But the other is that you send the I think it might be a Synchro Tuner to be specific from the extra deck. But, no, it might have just been, people saying Herald of the Art Light, I think. Anyway, you get to summon it down, and then the card you send can also trigger the effect. So, Malong, Packbit, Agonista, so on and so forth. I'll try, obviously this video, I don't get much time to edit these videos, but I'll try and put the images up on the screen if I can get away with them. Yeah, so that's like 3 chase cards already. Meta chase cards will be the Cool Tune cards. So they get 3 brand new cards. They get 2 extra deck cards in the form of Crackle and B2B. We already know that Crackle is a ultra rare, so that's already been confirmed. And then probably their most important card is a card called Rotary, and again that name might change because we haven't seen it yet, but this is the level 1 tuner that basically Cool Tunes have been screaming for, because the Cool Tune monsters Mix and Rico can search you out any Cool Tune monster but not the number that it is. So Rico can't search a 3, but it can search everything else. A Mix can't search a 2, but can search everything else. So you now get to search Rotary, and Rotary has the effect to, I think, it reveal itself and another tuner in the hand, and then immediately after the effect resolves, normal summon. In addition, I think it might be normal summon the tuner. So it is going to be deck specific. It also has the ability that if it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you just get to look at your opponent's hand, which when you're making your play early doors, it will have the same effect as well, that you can use a tuner in the hand to perform a synchro summon, so of a tuner monster. The deck is scheduled, or trying to think what the word is, proposed, maybe expected to be one of the top competitors. Now, this is probably also off the assumption that a Forbidden Limited list comes into play, and that Forbidden Limited list would kind of set straight some of the decks we have. So at this moment in time, it's probably going to be something along the lines of Cups of Yummy maybe gets limited, maybe High Wave King Caesar gets banned, or if not, they make a tweak to the Fiendsmith lineup. I just feel that if you get rid of Requiem, you destroy the Fiendsmith package, and I think the Fiendsmith package is a nice option to still have for decks. I just think Caesar might be a little bit overpowered in comparison to Desiree. Now again, don't get me wrong, I would be really upset if High Wave King does get forbidden, for the pure fact that it is quite important in DDDs, or like another nice end piece for DDDs. And I'm not sure how DDDs would then adapt. Like, the Caesar sets them up with 2 additional interactions, and DDDs is definitely one of them type of decks where it's like, here's my entire field. Break it and win, don't break it and lose. Not saying that they can't come back, because the Oblivion King gives them that ability to still like push for an OTK after the fact, but kind of gives them something to work towards. Anyway, back into Bays and Dominion. We also have, so there's a new Elf Note card, which really does kind of change them up, because it's like an Elf Note card that allows them to special summon another Elf Note. So it means it starts to play around the ability of, oh, haha, I've put a Nibiru token in your center main monster zone, now what are you going to do? So, we get brand new GMX cards. We get, trying to remember off the top of the head exactly what else we get. There's train support. We already know that one of the train cards is a secret rare, which I believe is the schedule. We got Red Dragon Archfiend cards. At the moment, all we know is that the Crimson King is a Starlight rare, which means it can be an ultra rare or a secret rare card. So you got 1 or 2 options on that one as well. And then there's a brand new Charmer Link 4, which is, I believe it's the secret rare promo, which would mean that it's an ultra rare in the main set. So what does that make us know that we know off the top of our heads? I think to the video we know two secrets of 10, which is Sparks and the new schedule quick play spell card. So still 8 more secrets to be kind of unravelled, which will be interesting to see. But, you know, like I said, you can make educated guess that apart from back in the day where like, is it Close Goddess of the Moon turned out to be a common, and Corporate the Grave turned out to be a common, which were quite surprises back in the day, because everyone was like, they're that good of a card, they'll be secrets. So unless we get like a spin moment like that, this set straight away, in my opinion, has a guaranteed 3 high-end chase cards if we were to follow that logic, being the Dragon Hand Trap, the Solemn, and the Dominus Sparks. And then Rotary will also be a chase card, quite like the Fallen in White. Not to that level of consistency, because obviously Fallen in White, not only was it a branded card, but it also fit within like the best deck right now of Draco Tail. Whereas Rotary will fit into towards the best deck, or the expected best deck, which is still TBC, because if we get the new cards and Cool Tune get decimated by Draco Tail, Radiance and Yummy still, then nothing's going to change on them until a Forbidden Limited list. So that might make people that have rushed to pick it up go, oh, okay, this isn't good right here, right now, I don't want it. I doubt it, but you never know. I think trains will be really, really fun. I think Red Dragon Archfiend will be really good as well. Seen a couple of different variants running around, so definitely tempted to put those together. Like the Crimson King is insanely good, so that would be really cool to see what rarities they all get. I think there is, just trying to think off the top of my head, I think there's like 5 or 6 brand new Red Dragon Archfiend cards. There's like Crimson King, there's a new Crimson Blader, but I don't know whether that counts as a Red Dragon Archfiend card or a Assault Mode card. Probably like a bit of a balance in between. And there's a new Resonator, there is a new like little Rock Fiend guy. I'm not explaining these very well, but I can kind of I can visualize them in my head. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a really good set. I think Chaos Origins, which is the next core set, just getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, is going to be insane and epic in all different ways. And what I mean by that is Chaos Origin is going to be the first core set to have extended art cards. It's also going to be the first core set to incorporate the new Starlight Rare printing, which is being classed at the moment as Starlight Rare 2.0, but it'll probably be officially named something crazy like Rainbow. Well, it can't be called Rainbow Rare, but Super Sparky Starlight Rare, something like that. Yeah, Prismatic Starlight, maybe, I don't know, but that'll be on its way. But that's a long way down the road. We've got to get past Battles of Legend first. Yeah, so I think Blazing Dominion is going to look really, really cool. It'll be awesome to see what else is, not so much what else is in it, because obviously I guess the only thing we don't know that will be in it is imports and exactly what the new GMX cars do. But I don't know, it's looking fun. It's looking a little bit different from Rarity Collection 5, because like Rarity Collection 5 had a lot of chase pieces, and what I mean by that is Rarity Collection 5 had extended cards, and then it had Starlight Rares, and then it had the stamped cards, whereas Blazing Dominion is going to have a bit of fan service in the form of Red Dragon Archfiend and trains, to be fair. It's going to have meta updates for Cool Tunes, and I think a deck that's really going to go under the radar next format until people start realising and go, oh damn, this deck's good, is Any Aircraft. So Any Aircraft get 3 brand new cards in there, which they have a new level 1 Searcher, which is like a level 1 scale card on flip, searching any aircraft, destroying opponent's spell or trap. They got a new spell card, which I can't remember exactly what it does off the top of my head, and then they get a new boss monster in the form of this like spider thing, and basically it can flip itself up when your opponent activates a card effect as chain link 3 or higher. It then negates all of their effects prior in that chain. It stops them building on their own chains. So it's actually a very good cool tune killer. And what I mean by that is, with cool tunes, usually what you do is you'll synchro summon, and more times than not you'll have chain link 1 synchro, chain link 2 card in the graveyard that triggers to search, chain link 3 card to do something that can't really be belled or ashed. So you kind of block your entire chain. So they'll always build to chain link 2 to chain link 3. And then as the any aircraft player, you'd flip the spider would negate all 3 of those chains, which is mental. Yes, your opponent could respond to your spider, but they would have to imperm, they would have to Veiler, depending on whose turn it is, or drop it or crown. So, which is always a little bit difficult in cool tunes, because they play like a lot of monster tuners. Like they want to play more monster tuners than anything else really, because those monster tuners are what allow them to synchro summon. And now that they've got rotary, stuff like Ghost Ogres, Ghost Bells and Ashes aren't as awkward to use, because those Ghost Bells, like you never wanted to use the Ghost Bells, the Ashes, the Ogres with a Q, because then you'd make Loudness War, and you couldn't really do a lot with Loudness War, because Loudness War copies a cool tune monster's effect when it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material effect in the grave, and Q was just to look at your opponent's top deck, top 2 cards, and banish one, and top deck or bottom deck the other. Whereas now, because of rotary, you can work your way into Trap Maker a lot easier, and Trap Maker is a searcher. So, and not to mention that Bell, Ogre, and Ash are just fairly decent in this format. So, yeah. I don't know, it'll be really interesting to see. I'll need to double check. I'm pretty sure the spider says chain link 3 or higher. But maybe chain link 2. If it was chain link 2 or higher, like, no, it has to be. I'm pretty sure it's if your opponent builds the chain link 3 or higher, you flip it up. So if they only build chain link 1, chain link 2, then they will never flip the spider. But then with Inside any aircraft, you do have a couple of ways to flip your own spider up. I think any aircraft are going to become that deck that if it goes first, it can be very, very awkward. If it goes second, you're going to want to hope you've got a lot of breakers. Evenly is like one of its biggest breaking points, because if you evenly them, they pretty much lose everything. They don't have a way to stop evenly right now. Lightning Storm's nearly ineffective. It can destroy, as the freight train goes past, it can destroy their scales, but then they do have a card that gives them destruction protection and target protection, which are probably going to cards that are going to be dropped down to like 1 each, so that they can fit the spider in. I suppose the question kind of comes out is how many of the new cards do they fit in, and where do they fit them in, basically. Yeah, and then that's also, without even talking about, another brand new control deck in the form of the Clown Crew. So the Clown Crew they look really cool. It's basically like a circus-based art type. But it relies on tribute summons, and usually when a deck gives you either additional tribute summons or tribute summons during your opponent's turn, or say negate card effects, or you can't activate monster effects that are special from the deck or extra deck, everyone goes to Vanities. Vanities Ruler, Majesty's Fiend, probably less so Majesty's Fiend, but Vanities Ruler and the other one, the level 8 vanities, they still let you use special summon but not your opponent. So, and then they also, what I love about them, which I think is really cool, is that their main card, the main deck Clown Clan, lets you draw cards equal to the number of monsters you tributed when you summon it. So you can summon it with 1 tribute if you're using a extra deck monster, so you draw 1. More times than not, you'll be able to get 2 monsters on the field, you get to draw 2. And then when you tribute those cards off, you actually get access to their continuous spell card. And their continuous spell card lets you draw cards in the end phase equal to the number of different types that were tributed. So Fusion, Xyz, Synchro, I think it includes Pendulum and Link, I'll have to double check that. And then you get to set 1 spell or trap. So the fact of the matter is, the deck, I think it can end up drawing something crazy. Like if you do everything, the deck in your turn can help you draw 7 cards. Now obviously draw will absolutely cook it, but to draw 7 cards, refresh your entire hand, you have 1 card combos in the deck anyway. And then on top of all of that, you can play purges, you can play super polys, droplets, crowns, you name it. So you actually don't need to play, if you didn't want to play the Vanities rock, or even if you did, your main card can let you tribute summon during your opponent's turn. So you could draw 7 cards in your end phase, draw into a Vanities, and then during your opponent's turn, effect, tribute off, summon down Vanities. And you can do that after they put a card on the field, so you don't need to worry about imperm. And if they go imperm your main deck Clown Clan, you go cool, chain, tribute, summon down Vanities. So yeah, I don't know, it's going to be an interesting deck to see how it kind of evolves and plays and changes really. Anyway, this is me recording at 20 past 6 in the morning, so very early walk, but it was quite nice. The sun came up eventually, I guess. Yeah, anyway, hopefully this has given you like a bit of an idea. Like I said, walk and talk segment, I don't get a lot of time at this moment in time. If my weekends are busy, it kind of throws my recording schedule off a little bit. But yeah, we get legendary decks today, I think. Yeah, if they're in my local OTS store today, I'll go down and pick them up. And then if not, guess I'll have to order them online. Anyway, have a very good day, and I'll catch you all on the next one, I guess. Bye.